Welcome to the show. This is another episode of No Interference, No Interference Live. Well, that was the first mistake. We're your host, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull, and we're going to dive into Week 4 of the NFL season. Um, in case anyone tuning in doesn't know, there is a game going on right now. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons are uh, having a little bit of a one-sided battle over in London this morning, so maybe you can tune into that game. But it's another glorious Sunday full of football action, so nothing to complain about here. As usual, we're going to start off with a bit of NFL news for y'all. So, what topic do you guys want to dive into first?
Well, let's start with Thursday football.
Yes, that's probably for the best.
Yes. Detroit and the Packers.
So, just a little rundown. Detroit got the win 34-20. As everyone expected, it was the David Montgomery show. We all saw that coming. David Montgomery gets fed 32 carries for 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. Uh, Other than that, the Lions just kind of played a suffocating defense against the Packers. Uh, what did you guys think of the game?
Slop it. At least for the Packers and Jordan Love. Threw 2 picks. Kind of took a step back, I think, from where he the first 3 games or first two
So,
games.
yeah, Jordan Love's, his star is not shining so bright anymore. But I'll give him the fact that the Packers O line was just decimated with injuries. They
Especially
couldn't get
that back at Tiari. It's
they couldn't
rough.
get any run game going. He had no time at all. Um, didn't they try and throw a Hail Mary at halftime and he just got sacked immediately?
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
then
Go
they
ahead.
lost Musgrave. They said they lost their up and coming tight end too. Musgrave to injury during the game. Pretty big loss.
Yeah. So I'm not, over the Jordan Love uh,
Definitely not.
breakout, but yep. I guess the real question is: Are the Lions for real?
Well, I would say, and then give credit to the Lions defense. Dan Campbell was quoted this week saying, not exact quote here, but somebody asked him, "How's it feel, or what's the mood like now that they're going from the hunted to the hunters?" And he said, "Well, if they're hunting us, they don't have to look very far because we're on your front porch."
Jesus.
Like, it's something like that along those lines. It was great. Another classic Dan Campbell quote.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's blowing smoke either. I think we've seen a lot of talked about it on the podcast with overall. I mean, they've drafted well. Everything's coming together. Golf is playing fine.
And now Jamison Williams is eligible to return next week.
2 weeks early. Yeah, 2 weeks early, right? He can play this week, can he? Week
Well, like
4. Because
week
it was
five.
six. Because he had a
Well,
six
they
game
already played
suspension.
Thursday, so yeah,
Well,
next
no,
week.
people were because
Oh yeah,
the
you're
people were
right. Yeah.
complaining that they made it 4 games, and the people that originally got 6 just got theirs reduced. No, you're right. You're right. Um, he could have been eligible, but they'd already
But they
played.
played Thursday. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all it
yeah,
was. But technically, it was week 4.
yeah.
So he'll be back in action next week. He's just he adds more deep ball threat more than anything, but still, it's team's got to account for him.
He stretches the field. He opens up stuff for Amon Ra. He opens up stuff for the run game. So
And Amon Ross really came into his own. He's one of the I think he has the most receiving yards over the last 2 years for being or since he's came in the league out of all the other rookies that came in with him. And I think in Lions history too.
I think it's catches. I'm not sure.
Was it catches? Yeah, it's one of the two. He's got some really good stat line for
Yeah.
you know to be up there with the greats.
Yeah, I think they definitely seem to have an identity, which I don't love from a fantasy perspective, being a Gibbs guy. But
Yeah, that seems to be the only
yeah, Campbell
down right
seems
now.
to have implanted his own personal, you know, traits onto the team. Smash mouth football. They're going to run Montgomery. No matter if it's a few yards or a bigger gain, they're gonna run. You know, play to Goff's strengths, hit some play action, deep passes to the weapons they have, and as you guys were just talking about with Williams coming in next week, that's gonna be a huge addition. Didn't he like his first game last year? He had like a huge touchdown or gain or something.
Yeah, his like first catch was like a 50-yard touchdown last year.
Yeah. So I mean, they already have him on St. Brown. They have Josh Reynolds. They have the the rookie tight end I like a lot. Laporta.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's say, yeah, they've been using him well.
he looks really good. Explosive and a good deep threat for a tight end. Um, and their defenses look solid. I mean, besides the Seahawks game, they held Kansas City to 20, Falcons to 6, and then Green Bay to 20. So, I mean, their schedule coming up for the next few games, it looks winnable. Panthers, Tampa Bay, then they got Baltimore, but they're looking good. We'll see how they do when they are the. This year, I think they're going to be able to fly with that. They had expectations coming in, but they're still like until they go through a season with a good record and some playoff success, they're still going to be like the Lions. Then like if they win a playoff game this year and like if they have like 11, 12 wins next year, there will be like
Some real respect on their name,
Well, in my
especially if they win the
opinion,
division,
mhm.
which
in my
they can easily
opinion,
do.
they've built the thing with the Lions is they've built a very good roster over the last 2 years, but that Jared Goff trade, getting him and all the picks for Stafford, I still say Jared Goff had kind of a weird, beginning to his career. He went from most overrated quarterback to arguably one of the more underrated quarterbacks, and like he's not like elite, but he's not a bad quarterback either, especially when you give him a good O line and weapons. So we're seeing it's similar to when he was on the Rams. When the Rams had a good roster built around him, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and he can put up pretty solid numbers.
Mhm. Yep. The Lions are coming.
Yeah, yeah. The only chance, I mean, the Vikings, unfortunately, have 0-3. Maybe they turn it around. I mean, it's crazy how we saw that Kirk Cousins stat line. His TD ratio to interception ratio is very well. He has great numbers, but they've lost 3 in a row. So
Yeah, Vikings are done.
the Lions, they can grab that division. It's right there. Go for it.
Really curious to see what. Well, this is off topic, but what happens with Justin Jefferson if he's going to want to stay there?
Too much superstar in him. He's got to go somewhere that they can win championships.
Write it in the books.
Guarantee it.
He's gone. Going to
Stamp.
Washington.
I mean,
I don't know about that, but
what if they tank?
that's
and
not
they
getting
end up-
championships yet.
What if they tank and they end up with like one of the top picks to get a quarterback?
Caleb Williams will for sure. He will.
Well, that's a
for
different
sure
story.
stay. Ooh.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's still. I don't think it's on Cousins, but I think that's a separate topic we can get into another time.
Ritter
Yeah.
just threw another duck.
Ugh.
Anybody watching
His
the
goose is
game?
cooked.
He's cooked his second year in the league.
I mean, he was.
I never liked him.
Yeah, I was kind of high on coming
RJ
out.
liked him.
Yeah, RJ was a big fan.
RJ
I mean,
said he
it's
was
still-
NFL.
still early.
RJ was honest about him. RJ said he was NFL ready and he could run an offense. I think that was kind of the vibes you were going with, which is
That's
kinda
not what I
he-
said.
Oh, it's not.
No, that quarterback
said he-
class
No, you
out
said
of
that
all
last
them,
year.
he was probably the most NFL ready quarterback
That's what I just said.
coming out. But I wouldn't say about leading an offense and be all like that. I'm just saying out of that class,
If
him
you're
and Sam
NFL
Howell were probably the most
if you-
NFL
If
ready.
you say he's NFL ready, that means he can lead. He can be a field general.
No, he's
He's
gonna be
he's
thrown
NFL
into the
ready.
fire.
He's NFL
Is
ready.
what
before
it was.
ready.
He's NFL
Over
ready, but he
Marcus
can't lead the
Mariota.
offense.
Not to be like to come in and be the
Hey,
the
some of
hoorah
us,
guy.
Some of us, get Ritter takes wrong. Some of us get Matt Ryan takes wrong.
That's true.
Hey, the Falcons are 2-1. They've relied a lot on the run game, but
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's that London air getting to him.
Possible.
All right, so moving on to the next topic. RJ, did you want to have a few moments to discuss your opinion on the Toy Story animated
That was a good transition. We were
game?
talking about the game.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's way cooler than the Nickelodeon thing they did last year or past couple of years. You know, that was fun, I guess, for maybe for little kids trying to get them to watch the games. But all they did was change the screen to like green and slime the screen. This they're actually like taking the players, they're matching their movements, matching the what's going on the field live. I think it was only because when Taylor was talking about uh, Ritter throwing that pick, there's maybe a second in between him saying that if he was watching the live game to me watching it on the Toy Story thing. So this is definitely a good idea by the NFL and Disney and ESPN coming together. I'll tip my hat to them.
All right, I haven't watched it. I'll admit, but I'll probably watch it during the week.
Yeah,
Give my opinion on it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure it'll
same.
be on there for a bit.
I did think the Nickelodeon thing was cool last year for kids. I think that's what it was
Yeah,
meant for. So
this is just way cooler.
yeah, I have to check it out too.
It's like live in Andy's room with all your favorite Toy Story characters on the sidelines.
Hmm. Good to know. Good to
Good
know.
that the
NFL's
NFL is
always.
doing these types of things though to keep
Mm-hmm.
different
Yeah,
crowds involved.
Oh,
Because
I
even
understand they're
yeah.
looking for more ways to make money.
well fair enough. But parents who don't watch football or don't care about football as much, if there's like a Toy Story broadcast on at 9 a.m. in the morning, they're trying to keep their kid. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have a kid. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm assuming
Yeah, I mean,
parents
this
might
would be
put the
like
Toy Story
watching,
thing on, and their kids would enjoy it and be focused on it. Like, oh, here we go.
and then the parents can still watch football too without having to worry about
Yes.
all that because they still break down the game too in the replays. They still do the graphics, like they added cones and stuff for where the blocking was supposed to be, and
Mm.
like as
Educational
soon as they work out the kinks, it's because
could be
it's the
Could be pretty
broadcasters
cool.
too, all of them. Yeah, as soon as they work out the kinks with the ball moving around a little bit, they'll be all right. We'll see more of this for sure.
All right. I know Trevor, you wanted to take a moment to discuss the controversy with the tush push or
okay.
the brotherly
The
shove.
the the
Thank you.
pushing of the tushing.
Thank you. It is the brotherly shove is way better than the push tush. The push tush is
Yeah,
catchy, quick. Anybody can do the push tush, but the Eagles are
Wait,
mastering
is
it.
it push tush or tush push?
either way.
It's tush push. I have the verbal dyslexia. Um, but yeah, it's getting out of control.
City of
I think
brotherly
the
shove.
majority of people who watch sports in the NFL and ex players have the same take. It's a football play, and the Eagles are really good at it. They have the best offensive line in the league. They have one of the physically more dominant quarterbacks in the league. And I don't want to repeat what's already been said 1,000 times, but yeah, Jalen Hurts' lower body's pretty strong. He squats a lot. So naturally, he's going to be good at a quarterback sneak. Now, also, I'm pretty sure without being pushed from behind from the tight end and running back, Jalen Hurts gets over the line like 90% of the time. And they're just giving him that extra push to like so he doesn't get pushed back. But then that's just you already got the forward progress. It just makes it a little more secure with the push. Um, and then all these media members saying it's the words I've heard. It's I think I've heard like it's an abomination. It's cheating. It's unfair. And like everyone in the league can do this play. And I didn't look back myself, but I've seen people on Twitter or X, formerly Twitter, and other articles talking about it say that there were teams that tried the same play, the same version of it, within this NFL season, and it was unsuccessful. So it's obviously not an automatic play. The Eagles are just really good at it. And should a team be penalized? for something they're really good at, or should a play be exiled, or whatever, taken away because the team's really good at it? I can't
Exiled
think.
sounded cool.
I don't have. I don't have any plays off the top of my head that are really hard to stop. But like if it.
So
Go ahead.
I read the same stuff, and like I saw JJ Watt came out. He was like, without even any assistance, Jalen Hurts is converting QB sneaks at a higher rate than any other quarterback. When you consider his, I mean, he is smaller, but he's pretty jacked.
Yep.
And the Eagles also arguably have the best O line in the league the last 2 years. If you look at traditional quarterback sneaks, the running back usually runs up out of the I formation and slams into the quarterback's back anyway. So the Eagles just took out the 4 unnecessary steps. It's like the same thing with Cam Newton when he was in the league, and they just did that shotgun quarterback power, and he would like catch his shotgun snap and just run
and dive over
and jump
everybody.
over the line of scrimmage. Like
Yeah.
no other quarterback could do that, so no one complained about that.
Mm-hmm.
My complaint would be, you know, what else is nearly unguardable? The Tyreek Hill motion. Should we get rid of that?
Mm-hmm.
No
Yeah,
quarterback
like,
has a chance on that Tyreek Hill motion.
The
that was like
Tyreek Hill
Tutu
motion or the 49er
Tutu Atwell.
motion.
Tutu Atwell. That's how he won the got the last touchdown in the Rams game last week. So I
Yeah.
won my fantasy game because he was in this, running all the way over from
Or-
the sideline
oh.
full speed, and then goes right in the end zone wide
Yeah.
open.
Thank you, Trevor,
49ers
with
Trent
49ers.
Williams
Yeah.
running across the
Yeah,
line and
yeah.
turning
Which-
into the line of scrimmage before the ball's like, that's 400
Yeah,
pounds
which is
of
an
mass
illegal
running
play.
at you.
Yeah,
I've seen him run it like 5 times, and 3 of the 5 times they've ran it illegally, and it's never been called.
Yeah, it's people are it's just whiny babies. Like this. The other thing, I don't know if I zoned out for a second, but I don't know if either of you mentioned stopping the Eagles on 1st and 2nd down and not letting them get to the 1 yard line or short yardage. That would be a good way for you to stop it. Also, I can't remember what my point was going to be. I got double pointed there. But either way, I just think it's crazy that people are saying it's unfair. And the Eagles are going to keep doing it. Try and outlaw it. I hope they don't.
Are you gonna take your shot at Chris Sims?
I was going to keep it civil here, but some people like Chris Sims said he obviously didn't choose his words wisely and said he needs to, or what? I can't. I need to paraphrase.
He said
here.
defenses should start headhunting Hurts.
Yeah, they need to kill him, and then
Yeah.
right away, Mike Florio was like, you could see it in his face. He was like, obviously he didn't mean that. And then
No,
they all.
the first thing he said was, "For the record, that wasn't me. That was
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Sims."
He covered himself first. That was hilarious. I was watching it because I saw the headline. I was like, ugh, what an idiot. He's one of those guys that just spews out hot takes just for the sake of getting views. Which, I mean, he's a media member, so like Chris or who's the guy on ESPN? That's the gray hair guy, Coward.
Oh, Colin Coward. He's on Fox Sports.
Fox Sports, but he does a ton of like hot takes, but it's obviously to get more recognition. I think Chris Sims is similar, but if you're being an ex-NFL quarterback who sucked, you should not be saying they should be headhunting because the play is hard to stop. So that's my $1 worth of thoughts on that.
Yeah. It's. I mean, hey, they're gonna talk about it all like
Now,
forever.
RJ, are you gonna be mad today if the Eagles do it?
I mean, I'll be mad if somebody scores. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's like obviously you'd like to see a cooler way to score, I guess, but I mean, it is what it is.
think it's
Stop them
cool.
before they get there. I don't think
think
it's
it's
the
cool.
coolest thing to watch.
I think it just proves how good their O line and how powerful Jalen Hurts is.
You know what?
Well, that's
sold
because
it
you're a
for
fan.
me?
I get
Another
that,
thing-
but I don't really
when
like.
Jason-
I'm definitely in the. I don't care either way. You score,
When-
you score.
when-
Stop them before you get there, motherfuckers.
When Jason Kelsey was mic'd up when he walked to the O line last year, I was like, you know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
He started
Yeah, it's
saying
just.
it-
I mean, when you get to that short yardage situation, anyway, like what do you? It's almost guaranteed you should get a touchdown. If you're fourth and third one on the goal line, like on the one, do better defense.
Yeah. Is this? Wait. Never mind. We already talked about that. But yeah, the Eagles.
Well,
If they get rid of the push aspect of it, I just think their O line's good. They have the best. I think they have the best positional coach in the NFL in their offensive line coach.
Howard Mudd.
Yeah. And he just whoever's on that offensive line, he teaches up. And then Jalen Hurts is just so strong.
Yeah, I have a good way to put it. It's annoying to me as any other QB scramble would be. Like if Mike Vick in 04 Madden, like yeah, it's annoying, but it's part of the game. Do better to stop it.
Yeah.
Like obviously, it's annoying in general when your team gets scored on. So people are just salty and don't want to use logic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, some of these plays work, some of them don't. Remember the Colts back in like 2012? That fourth down play they did?
Oh, against Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What wasn't that just like the throw to the flats?
I don't even.
It was apparently never supposed to be hiked, but
Oh. The Pat McAfee one?
No,
What
I
am
don't
I
think he was
thinking of?
involved in it. When the Colts motioned their entire team to the right and they had just one center and then their wide receiver.
The wide receiver was under center.
Yeah, and they
He was
they
like-
hiked the ball.
Am I supposed to like this?
Yeah.
What about when Zeke got it in the end of
Oh my
or his
God,
last
that
year as the
was the best
Cowboys?
play of my life. Just got bulldozed.
Literally, oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, it was great.
Some people have it, some people don't.
That's the way it goes.
My football team, we actually have a sort of a gimmicky play that's been pretty unstoppable, but we only run it once. We have the quarterback and running back in shotgun, and we have a back like right behind the O line. And then when we hike the ball, the quarterback and the running back like jump up and fall down like there's a fumble, and they're like ah,
Oh,
and the running back on the center gets the ball unhooked, just ducks behind the O line, and everyone runs past them
that's
to go after the
hilarious.
fumble.
Nice.
But yesterday at the game, the refs were like, "I was about to blow the whistle dead, blow the play dead."
That's funny. That's hilarious.
That would have screwed you
That's
guys
like a
too. Once the
different
whistle's
version
blown,
of
the
the
whistle's
fumble
blown.
rooski.
Yeah, we can only use it once because then you get wise to it. But it's a funny play.
That is funny.
I like it.
Any other news out there?
Deshaun Watson's out today.
Yes, just
Is
got
he?
the news. He's officially out versus the Ravens.
And they were saying he was going to play all week too.
Yeah,
Good thing I started Jordan
he
Love.
said the same thing.
Yep.
Yep.
Chase Claypool's inactive.
Oh yeah, Chase Claypool. Forgot about that.
Oh,
He's
you mean
a
the top
health-
3 wide receiver in the NFL?
He's a healthy scratch. Because of his remarks about how the coaches weren't using him right. However, if you watch any film on him this year, he's given like 20%.
I was about to
effort.
say, thank you for that because that was exactly the words coming out of my mouth. I wouldn't even give him 20%.
I think
He's what 6'3", like he's a big wide receiver, right? I saw him go for a block on a 5'10" corner. And he didn't even bend his knees. All he has to do is bend his knees and plant, and that corner's not going anywhere. But no.
I still love the meme. Chase Claypool is 6'4", 220 pounds, runs a 4.40, but he sucks at football.
But he can't play football. Yeah. It all started his rookie year with that comment, win or losing, never heard of, or when the Steelers were undefeated. And then he got that one first down and celebrated. Cost them the game. Cost them the game, and then still deflected and didn't take blame. Try to blame the official when he was clearly celebrating.
Yep.
And then this season claimed to be popular. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's a popular, 2 ex-players,
Yeah.
Talk show. And I think Ryan Clark was there. He looked at him like, okay. Ryan Clark has his opinions, but I think we don't all agree with Ryan Clark with that look there. And then Dick Taylor just said, watch this film the first 3 games of the year. Just watch it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Just so you can get a laugh.
Yeah, it's pathetic. When I saw it, I think we talked about it on one of the earlier shows.
We brought it up.
Like we can run routes like that, where that is the equivalent. Like it's not talking us up, obviously. It's talking him down. That his route running looks like what I would do if I was running a route.
Yeah, drops all around too on 5 yard catches. Like it's just he's garbage. And then to come out and when somebody asks you if the Bears aren't using you properly, to be so just blunt with it. No. What do you mean no? How should they use you? You're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the meme or the gif where the thing's just poking, poking whatever like the little
Like, come
guy.
on, do something.
Yeah, come on, do something. Like, what do you mean?
RJ gave him
Ugh.
his garbage of the week.
Oh, he's ass cabbage all
Oh,
around.
jeez, that's worse. I didn't think it could be worse than giving him the Boston garbage, but
Mm, ass cabbage.
Yeah. I don't. I won't be surprised if he gets dropped before the season comes to an end.
Or yeah, even as soon as next week, they're gonna
You're a
make him
bad
inactive. It's
team.
wasting a roster spot.
You're a bad team. Already having trouble. You can't afford to have like a toxic player like that. And maybe that's what he wants.
Yeah, especially with the way Justin Fields has been playing too. He's not helping anybody else
Can you
out, but
believe? Can you believe the Bears gave up the 33rd pick for him?
crazy.
wild.
Mm-mm.
I'm not surprised though. The Bears organization has been in the gutter for a while.
Yep. Yep. Oh. So on to the picks of the week.
Yes.
All right. So the first game, of course, is actually happening now. It's Falcons Jaguars in London. They're currently in halftime. Jags lead 17-0. It's actually been a pretty ugly game. Take away a 30-yard pass from Trevor Lawrence to Calvin Ridley, and neither team is really doing a whole bunch of anything. Um, but seeing how it's 17-0, I guess it's pretty easy to say I'm going to take the Jags in this one.
Yeah.
any any upset alerts? Anybody?
No.
No one taking the
Negative.
Falcons.
The Atlanta's
Neg-
strength is running the ball. They're down 17-0. Jacksonville should be able to control the rest of the.
Maybe we
second
get a
half.
Kyle Pitts sighting in the second half.
Mm,
Yeah. Hopefully, fantasy wise, I need him, and I also
If
need
Kyle Pitts explodes for 100 yards and 2
Bijan.
touchdowns in the second half, immediately trade him in fantasy.
hmm Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about putting Drake London in my starting lineup. He has 1 point.
Yes, that's a good no thought.
Yeah, I benched him too. He's my at this point he's just my emergency receiver.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for the 1 o'clock games, the first one we have on the schedule is the Rams are going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The the Rams are 1 point favorites. Anthony Richardson is playing today.
He's back.
So maybe his legs give him a little bit of an advantage, but the Rams have looked good. They've been in every game. They had a tough loss to the Bengals last week. But this is a close one. I'm not really leaning either way for this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the spread's -1.
But I'm gonna take the Rams. I have faith in Stafford with Puka and Tutu. And I think Richardson keeps it close. I'm hoping as a Richardson supporter in fantasy that he gets,
Same.
a few 50 rush yards, maybe 2 rushing touchdowns
Well,
and a passing touchdown. I don't know.
in the first 5 minutes of the game, he got knocked out of for the concussion. He had 18 fantasy points. He had 2 rushing touchdowns off the rip.
That's my only hope for him. Protect yourself.
Yeah. So even as I'm saying though, even then he only played for a little bit of a quarter and still did well for me that week in fantasy.
Yeah.
So his big his big playability with his legs is up there with the best so far it seems. If he can stay healthy, the NFL field is his oyster.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. Who do you guys like in this one?
I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Um,
I'm not sold on this Rams team whatsoever.
yeah, I'll split it. I'm gonna go. I like the Rams too. Anthony Richardson, coming back from injury. I just think they've both looked better than expected, even though the Rams were 1-2, Colts are 2-1. They've both played close games. I just think the Rams can cause a little bit of problems for Anthony Richardson. I don't know. I think Aaron Donald might have a big game.
I'll say Aaron Donald. Say Aaron Donald's still in the mix here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Second game on the schedule, we have the Ravens going to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Ravens looks like they updated it after they announced Deshaun Watson's being out. Ravens are 2-point favorites. I'll be honest, I originally had the Browns favored, and I had them as my lock of the week. So this news does change that. Without Deshaun Watson, I
I don't know, man. The Ravens team loves to play down to their opponents. We talked
But
about it last week.
the
Talked about it
Ravens,
before. They lost to a backup last week too.
it's going to be against a rookie quarterback.
Who's the Browns' backup?
Dorian
Oh, okay.
Tom
Smith Thompson. Yeah, Smith
DTR
Yeah,
from
yeah.
UCLA. But my thing is, I think the Browns defense is like legit. They're one of the better run defenses in the league. They're one of the better pass defenses in the league.
They did lose Chubb too on the other end.
Lamar Jackson's had been a little turnover prone this year, putting the ball on the
A lot of fumbles.
Yeah.
He only lost one last week though. I think he dropped 3 total.
But the Ravens are able to control the clock. They do have Justin Tucker. So without Deshaun Watson, just if the Ravens lose to a rookie quarterback after losing to Gardner Minshew last week, it'll be ugly. So I am taking the Ravens, but like by 6 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens. They lost a tough game against the Colts. Not really a game you want to give up this early in the season to an opponent you're supposed to beat. Now they have a divisional game you really don't want to give up, especially with Deshaun Watson out. Even though he hasn't been playing well, you don't want to miss this opportunity. So I'm just gonna go with Baltimore. Probably a close game, whether Deshaun Watson's out anyways. It's a divisional game. But Lamar Jackson needs to step up, and I think he will. Tough
Yeah,
defense.
I'm going to go Baltimore, but I wouldn't be surprised if they still lost.
Yeah, my parting thought is Ravens do have a lot of injuries. I haven't looked at who's officially out, but Ronnie Stanley is dealing with issues. Marlon Humphreys
Beckham's
dealing
out.
with issues.
OBJ and Rashawn Bateman are both out.
Yeah, Marcus Williams was dealing with injuries. Hamilton is dealing with injuries.
Yep. He was looking good this year too. Hamilton was.
The running backs are dealing with injuries. But hey, Lamar Jackson, you wanted to be the, $50 million a year quarterback. So
he saw Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. You got plenty to work with.
Yeah, this is your chance to prove it. So we'll see what happens with that game. Next up on the schedule,
just a quick take on the current game. Drake London just got a touchdown, so screw me.
Yeah, same.
In my fantasy life.
Well,
after saying it
I
5
definitely
seconds
needed that.
ago, he has 1 point.
Yeah, I needed that though, so the Jaguars have a reason to keep throwing the ball. So,
whatever. On to the
was
next
it like
one.
a big play or just like a?
It was a really good catch on like a. I think it was like 15, 20-yard out route.
Luckily, Bijan's been getting catches. He's got 12 points on 60 total rushing yards, I think, or receiving yards. I don't even know.
Yeah, he was double teamed too.
Well, good for them. All right, I need ETN to get some points.
Me too. I have him as well. I've been having 4 leagues. Got a little bit of everybody.
But on to the next game. We have the 0-3 Vikings traveling to Carolina to take on the 0-3 Panthers. Vikings are 4.5-point favorites. I mean, 0-3, you kind of already dug yourself in a hole, but this is like must win. If the Vikings go 0-4, like you pretty much start at that point. You start looking at like gutting the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, injury wise. Vikings are pretty healthy. It looks like their safety. I always forget how to pronounce his name. Is it Kine or Sign? The Georgia safety they drafted last year. He's out. Panthers. Miles Sanders is questionable, but uh, this should be a game that Justin Jefferson. I don't know who the Panthers have that can cover Justin Jefferson and get a lead, and then just give Mattinson like 45 carries to kill the clock.
Yeah, they still have who's that fast corner the Panthers have? Dante
Dante Jackson. He hasn't been good for like a couple of years, and then Horn's out.
Yeah, I think on paper the Vikings should win this game, but I don't want to sleep on Andy Dalton. He looked decent against the Seattle last week. They put up 27 points. I mean,
Seattle's defense is garbage.
Yeah, but the Vikings defense isn't good.
But we'll see.
They also threw the ball like 60 times. I think the Panthers did. I think Miles Sanders had a ton of catches. It wasn't a pretty game, but I don't know. The Vikings just haven't looked good, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers somehow win this game. I'm gonna go with the Vikings though in a close game.
I'm definitely. Oh, sorry, Chuck. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the Vikings blow them out.
Yeah, me too. I think I mean, maybe not a complete blowout like how the Bills stomped Washington last week, or how the Cowboys trumped the Giants week 1, but Kirk Cousins has been playing well overall. The defense, not so much, but they need this win. You can't go 0-4. If you go 0-4, stick a fork in them. Andy Dalton did kind of revitalize his Panthers pass game last week, but it's still Andy Dalton. I don't know. I think Adam Thielen might have a good game, being a revenge game, but I'm not liking it for the Panthers side.
Yeah, I forgot Cam Akers too. Last thought is on the Vikings now. I think they might try to establish him a little bit here, see if he has any.
They don't need him. They don't need him.
Just let him ride the bench.
Let him ride
it's because
the
we
bench.
got a Madison guy over here.
Yeah.
Akers is on my bench still, so.
Yeah, you got to see what he's going to do before I was even put him near anything, fantasy-wise.
So going on to the next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Bengals are 2.5-point favorites. Might as well be 21-point favorites, honestly. Andre Dillard is on pace to be the worst tackle I've just ever seen.
It's impressive after last year.
Yeah, after last year, I was like, "There's no way it can get worse." And then Andre Dillard's like, "Well, watch me." I think he's on pace to give up like 50 sacks, or no, I'm sorry, 30. It was like 35 sacks and like 90 pressures or something like that.
Jesus.
Which, I mean,
I thought Andrew Wiley was bad.
Yeah, if he continues it, like he's just no way he's gonna play. Like there's a point. At that point, you're so bad that you can't deal with it. There's no playing through it. The Titans O-line is pretty bad. Peter Skoronski's still out from dealing with his ruptured appendix that he had right before week 2. That hurts. Trey Burks is out this game, even though he's done nothing. Derrick Henry, I think his average contact is like -2 yards. So there's no run blocking. Tannehill is constantly just throwing off his back foot that's either incompleted. I'm surprised he hasn't thrown more pick. Well, he threw 3 picks week 1. Christian Fulton on the year is allowing a perfect passer rating when being targeted. I don't know if I have anything else bad to say. I think unless Derrick Henry somehow has the fury of the gods ignited in him and goes off for like 200 and 4 TDs, I think the Titans they're gonna get blown out. Like if you have Jamar Chase, like now's the chance to fire that startup. Like I could see
I'm glad
Jamar
I didn't
Chase.
trade him after last week.
I could see
Yeah, you're
Jamar
welcome.
Chase going for like 150 and 2 touchdowns. I just don't
Yeah.
see how the Titans could cover him. Um, like Joe Mixon, I wouldn't start. Titans basically destroy the run defensively, but on the back end, it's a whole other story. Uh, yeah, Bengals all the way.
You said it all.
Yeah.
I'm going Bengals.
Right there with you. Who day?
I will be watching the whole game, rooting for the Titans, but I've
I did
kind of
bench
entered
Derrick
that.
Henry today.
Unfortunately,
I don't like it. I don't
the
like
way
his usage.
yeah, I think that the Titans are going to trade him.
It doesn't make sense
I'll
why else they're not using him.
I would be surprised if Derrick Henry doesn't get traded. Um, I don't know where, but he's if you look at him, like he still has like he's obviously not as fast as he was, but he still has speed. He still has power. Um, like he literally gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. Like, and as a runner, there's only so much you can do when the O line is just like not giving you a single crease to hit. Yeah, I think he's gonna get traded. Uh, but yeah, I'm in my like 2000 like 11 Titans mode where I watch every game, but I watch every game expecting a loss.
Well, at least you can't be surprised when it happens.
Thank you.
I mean, I know your pain. Trust me.
All right, next up we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Derek Carr is going to play through the pain, and the Saints are 4-point
Derek
favorites.
Carr's playing?
Yeah.
Terrible mistake.
Was that the news that he's playing?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, he's playing.
Terrible mistake. This was going to be the Jameis Winston revenge game.
Could have been. Honestly, with an injury, I mean, like that with a quarterback, he could easily get knocked out of the game, and here comes famous Jameis coming to save the day.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an interesting game. The Saints, they have a good defense, but they've had some rough losses this year. The Bucks are coming off of a disappointing primetime game against the Eagles, but I still have faith in them. Lattimore's been having a good year. Him and Mike Evans have historically had some good matchups.
It's good
So
brawls too.
they'll be going back and forth. Um, is Kamara's not back yet, is he?
Kamara comes back this week.
Yeah.
I'll be curious if he could be.
I'm
the
starting
difference
him in my
maker.
flex.
Oh, man.
He could be the difference maker. I still have faith in Baker Mayfield, and
Me too.
The Saints defense is good, but they're not Philadelphia Eagles good. So I'm gonna take the upset. I'm taking the Bucks.
Yeah. I was gonna go with the Saints, with Jameis Winston, but hearing Derek Carr's back, their offense hasn't really been that great this year.
Olave looks good, but it's like the only
Yeah,
real
they just
bright
haven't put up a ton of points. I mean, they got
Yeah,
16
yeah,
in
definitely.
week 1, 20, and then 17 and a loss last week. So I'm switching my pick with Derek Carr news, and if he's beat up, Kamara is the only X factor here. If he goes off and they lean on him in his first game back, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bucks in a little bit of a rebound game here.
Yeah, just with Derek Carr playing with the injury, I'm concerned about like how he going to be able to push the ball downfield.
Yep. That's what I thought
Yeah, I'm
Jameis
with
was
you.
going to be able to do.
Yeah, I'm riding with Baker, my boy Baker Mayfield. Go with the upset.
So we all like that.
Should be a good game though. Division game should be close.
Next up, we have possibly game of the week. We have the Miami Dolphins going up to Buffalo to take on the Bills.
Buffalo.
Bills are actually 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 53. The Bills have been firing on all cylinders since their week 1 loss to the Jets. The Dolphins have been a puzzle for teams this year.
Scored almost record-breaking 70 points last week.
Yep. They
First
showed
time since
mercy not kicking a
1966.
field goal.
The irony of Mike McDaniel too, you can't get over that. Being a ball boy for him and then not even getting an opportunity to interview for the head coaching job, then to go in there and drop 70 on their face. And Sean Payton can eat a butt for being such an asshole.
That's another one. We got what did you say about Chase Claypool earlier?
Ass cabbage.
So we got that, and then we got Sean Payton eating butt.
Not the good kind of butt either.
All right.
So, this game will be interesting. Both of these teams can put up points. I think I like the Dolphins' defense a little bit better than the Bills, especially with Poyer being out. I think teams really need to look at what the Patriots did in week 2 with Bill Belichick playing a lot of 3 safety high look and just saying we're just going to keep everything in front of us and make the Dolphins. We're just going to take away their explosive plays. Everything is going to have to be earned. You're going to have to work your way down the field. And then it shortens the game and it gives you a chance. So unlike the Broncos, maybe instead of having to race to 70, you only have to race to 30. It'll be a good game to watch. So it's too early in the season for me to pull the Chili Buffalo air card.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still gonna take the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, you pretty much have the current best offense in the league by far, versus one of the best defenses so far this year in the Buffalo Bills. It's either going to be a really high scoring game or it's going to be like, I don't know. I'm going to go with the Bills at home. I think they should have a good game plan against Miami. It's a team they see twice a year. They played them twice last year in tough games. It's tough. I'm gonna go Buffalo in a tight semi high scoring game.
Yeah, I'm going
RJ?
Miami. Riding the wave.
Riding that blue and orange wave.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout, but not nowhere near 70 points. Like no team scoring 70 points.
I think I saw a stat that teams that score over a certain amount of points, like really high. I don't know what it was. If it was 50
like
or
50.
Like they're like 1-6 the next week.
That's rough.
See.
Yeah,
We'll see. They made a deal with the football gods. Give us our points for next week. This week.
If anybody out there is watching,
you did it for Namath.
If anybody out there watching feels like checking on that and commenting on the YouTube, let us know if I was right about that one.
All right, next game. This maybe is the worst game of the season. We have the Denver Broncos 0-3 going to take on the Chicago Bears 0-3. Broncos are 3.5-point favorites. I mean, I guess you take the Broncos by default because they've at least looked somewhat like a professional team. The Bears, I'm convinced if you dropped 9 into coverage, Justin Fields still would run into a sack. That's how bad it's been this year.
You did it. You already did it.
Could the Bears be the first real time where we could say a college team could come up and play them and win?
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding.
Slightly,
that gets thrown around with bad teams every year.
Like I mean, I would debate if USC Caleb Williams might be able to put up some points against this Bears defense, but it's still kids versus grown men.
I know it's still funny though.
Yeah. When you even though nobody really believes it, when you have to
Yeah.
bring it up, that means you're bad.
Yeah, that's why it gets brought up about one team almost every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Claypool is a healthy scratch. Patrick Surtain's going to be on DJ Moore all game. You know the Broncos are mad because they just got embarrassed. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos are like, we're going to go and beat them 50-0.
Literally
Show
like a
everyone
game
who.
of Madden for a fan after their team
Yeah.
gets embarrassed. Like,
Yeah.
going out there swinging.
So yeah, I'll take the Broncos. If if by some miracle Justin Fields like pops off for like 180 rush yards and like ends up winning the game like 21-14, Sean Payton's coaching legacy is done. I will never ever again respect him as a. I already thought he was overrated, but for then I will be like he does not belong in the same breath of any good coach.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Broncos as well. Um, you already said probably the worst game of the day. The Broncos have been able to push the ball a little bit, surprisingly, with Russell Wilson and some of those weapons, even though they've played, in higher scoring games. Their defense has been terrible, but the you know the the Bears just haven't shown anything. Like as bad as Miami beat the Broncos last week, the Chiefs completely embarrassed the Bears. So
Yeah. This is like not to say on this game because it's so bad, but like this legitimately Marvin Mims could return the opening kickoff and the game could be over. Like they might as well just shake hands and walk off the field.
yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Broncos.
Next up we have the Washington Commanders are going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles are 9.5 point favorites. I will say I thought this would be a good game earlier in the season, but after seeing the Bills game, I am a little nervous with that
O line,
Commanders
bro.
O line.
O
But
line's
being,
bad.
I'll let you take over as the resident Washington fan.
The first thing I saw or thought last week after I realized the sacks were piling up, I was like, great, next week's going to be even worse because y'all's D line is so much better than Buffalo's talent wise. I think what's his name too, the steal of y'all's draft.
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter has really come out and shown who he is as a player. Dominant force in the middle. I love seeing it until today, obviously. Um, if for some reason we could the offensive line can hold together and stand strong, it's a good division game always, but it's just the only thing really I'm holding. I mean, obviously Jalen Hurts in the offense is scary, but it's like I said, division game. Anything can happen until this O line crumbles.
Is this also a bit of a revenge game for the Eagles for last year?
I'm sure it's in the
I
back
mean,
of their mind a little bit, but
but
you
like
try to
I still
separate.
think we split the season series though, and you guys still lost like 2 more games, so I don't think that was that big of a you know
Nick Sirianni is a
anger.
Well, it
little.
was the only loss. It's the only
Sirianni is a
loss
little
that Jalen
petty.
Hurts has had in the last 21 games, besides the
True.
Chiefs Super Bowl.
I could see Sirianni being just a little petty about it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the thing is, like our D line's there, they're good. We're getting pressures, but we can't get down mobile quarterbacks. Like if Jalen Hurts just steps up and runs, apparently Del Rio doesn't know what a spy is, and he'll have a free reign all day. It's one thing not to obviously you don't want to run a spy. You can't run a spy every single play, every single down. But when you see that your offensive line can't handle it, and even an extra blocker isn't helping in the running back or tight end, whatever, or you know what I'm saying, the other way around. Like I don't understand.
You were
It doesn't make any
complaining a
sense.
lot last week about Josh Allen getting third
Just
down conversions.
yeah, especially when we our D line would do their job and contain him on the outside, make him step up, right in the center, and there's just nobody there. Everybody's off in coverage, which overall coverage wasn't bad. Like the big plays they made, they really had to like make a play. Like the Diggs catch of the rookie Emmanuel Forbes was right there. Josh Allen was on the run, like it barely got there, but they made a play. Um, Everything else was Josh Allen running the ball for a first down, which is what I predicted from the beginning. Because the same thing that all mobile quarterbacks do against us. If Kyler Murray played against the Cardinals, when we played the Cardinals, we probably would have lost that game too. Because dance around back there. Del Rio just doesn't know what it is. I guess I don't know. I'm over him.
For all the reasons that RJ just listed is why I'm taking the Eagles. I'm still a Sam Howell supporter, and I liked some of the stuff that Bieniemy's bringing to the offense. but
Gotta
the
be
O
realistic.
line, the O line has me concerned.
Did RJ make a pick?
No, I'm going Eagles, but I don't know about 9 points. I always think division games are close. Could be closer than those.
Yeah,
It
those
could
the
be. There's been times where Eagles have blown us out, but overall, I think it trends towards closer games.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on this 9.5. I don't really like when they get that high,
It
but
opened at
I
eight
just
and a half, so it's only gone up a point over the week.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, my quick thoughts are that the Washington, I think, will try to lean into what was successful last year, even though it's a different year. But they'll want to run the ball, control the clock, keep the Eagles' run game off the field. Um, the only, it's just the same side of the ball for Philly versus Washington's D. You got to assume Philly will try to. Philly's going to do what they always do. They're going to try to dominate the run game with the best offensive line in the league, and they're still going to try to take the shots downfield with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. They got weapons all over the place still. Um, I feel like the Eagles' passing offense has to click eventually because it's been
Who who
subpar.
needs a who needs a passing offense when DeAndre Swift is going for $150 every week?
Well, yeah, I mean
We
the run
also
game's
don't do
been
well against
unstoppable.
Swift. We played the Lions last year when they had him, and he demolished us.
Yeah,
Someone posted that DeAndre Swift has officially ruined Miles Sanders' career.
different teams. Miles Sanders
Yeah,
got paid, so that's all that matters for him.
yeah.
But
He's on to the next chapter.
DeAndre Swift does make. I mean, in 3 games, he has made me like Miles Sanders, who, like, he was
Yeah,
only here for a few years, and he was good last year. But
I,
DeAndre
I
Swift
still
he just looks
wish
so much better, like
I
explosive and
still wish
everything.
yeah.
that Derrick Henry to the Eagles trade happened.
Well, that
That'd
was
be
a
cool.
rumor. The Eagles are rumored in every trade because you got to call.
Yeah.
But
I
anyways,
still don't see how DeAndre Swift being slept on so much blows my mind to this day.
he's got to stay healthy, and we'll see what
It's true.
happens. If the Eagles can dominate the run, and then my other point was, Howell taking 19, 20 sacks in 3 games. I'm sure it's offensive line and just him being early in his career with getting the ball out quickly. If Eagles, and also the Eagles being able to push the middle of the line, causes a lot of problems in the passing game with Carter, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, big boys, Milton. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I agree with both you. Division game, it could go either way, but I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Yeah. So
All
I did
right.
see one more thing though about Sam Howell and these sacks. So obviously the line has been bad, but I did see something during the week that he actually was one of the most sacked players throughout his entire college career. Um, like even percentage wise,
So he
he was
holds
in
the
the
ball
bottom
too long.
is what he used to be. Even said that he any time whatsoever though. It's not like he's really is holding it too long, but it seemed to have transitioned from college to the NFL, unfortunately. So maybe something he's just got to work on.
Yeah, it just needs a it could be a game plan thing too, like just plays for him to get the ball out quicker and
Hmm.
like a first, 1-2 boom hit it or hit the check down.
Receivers got to get open too.
Yep.
Yeah. So next up, it's the last of the 1 o'clock games. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers going to take on the Houston Texans. Steelers are 3-point favorites. Um, Texans still dealing with a few injuries. Laramie Tunsil's still out. Um, this is either, kind of a get right game for the Steelers offense, or maybe the Texans can continue their somewhat surprising season. CJ Stroud's looked like
Pretty good.
the real deal. Reason why I liked him over Bryce Young. Uh, D'Amico Ryans is doing a pretty good job coaching, and the Texans defense has looked solid. Um, the only thing helping the Steelers is as bad as their offense has looked, their defense has looked pretty legit,
For
getting
sure.
turnovers. Their run defense hasn't been the best this year, so maybe the Texans can finally lean on Damian Pierce for a decent game this season. Tank Dell has been a
Surprise.
looking like a great pick for them. Him and Stroud have a good connection. Uh, I don't know. I don't. These are two teams that I don't really like, but uh, I personally lean towards the kind of upper echelon defense to at least put the Steelers in easy situations to score. So I do like the Steelers in this one, but I think it'll be a very close game. It'd be a good test for CJ Stroud. If he comes out on top against this defense, then congrats to the Texans. You have your future quarterback.
Yeah, I've loved the way CJ Stroud looks. He's making NFL caliber throws. He's making throws all over the field. He looks in rhythm. You mentioned Take Dell. He's had a coming out party the last 2 weeks. He looks like a bona fide receiver. Their O line still hasn't been good. The run game's been pretty below average, to say the least. Um, I'm gonna go with the Texans just because I'm riding the Stroud train. I like him a lot. But TJ Watt could wreck this game. And the Steelers could win. But I'm just gonna go
That's
with
what I
the
was about to
Texans
say.
with my gut.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers and the former Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt, who's got 6 sacks in 3 games already on the season. I think 2 or 3 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
I think I still like Kenny Two Gloves. You know, he's working with what he's got. The O line could be a little better. I think Pickens and him's connection is great. I'm hoping for a big game from Pickens fantasy wise too, but that's not why I'm leaning towards the Steelers. Definitely like what I'm seeing from CJ Stroud on the other side, being a rookie coming out doing his thing. But I'm going with the Steelers. Good game, hopefully.
Fair enough. So on to the 4 o'clock games. First up, we have the Vegas Raiders against the Chargers. Chargers are 6.5 point favorites. The Raiders are playing their rookie quarterback. What's his name? Anybody?
I honestly have no idea.
I knew Jimmy G was out, but I don't know this guy. No.
I'll pull it up real quick. Well, the Chargers are 6.5 point favorites. The Raiders have been a mess this year.
I wonder
Without-
why. Who's their head coach?
without-
again?
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, and actually, I liked him. He was one of my surprises of the preseason. He looks the part, but the Raiders haven't been able to do much. They beat the Broncos week 1. I think the Chargers is too much. The Chargers have been bad. They finally won a shootout against the Vikings last week, but the Chargers, for the most part, have been able to score this year. So I think it just gets to a point where there's like, we're not good, but you can't score points. So we're going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Williams going down for the year is a big blow. But Keenan Allen's looked really good. I'm a little surprised at his age, but he's been killing it.
Yeah, I think Mike Williams has played like one full season in his whole career.
Yeah, they drafted Quentin
Unfortunately.
Johnson, but he's not even the same type of player as Mike Williams. They just look similar and similar build, but different
Yeah,
styles
it's
of
just
play.
big body.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Chargers too, though. I just think I still love Justin Herbert. He can fling the ball over the field, whether they have players out or not. Vegas is starting the rookie quarterback. The only thing I give to the Raiders is if Josh Jacobs has a big game today, and Brandon Staley still sucks as a coach. Their defense still sucks. So if Josh Jacobs can have a big game, I'll give it to the Raiders possibly. But I'm gonna go Chargers, like you said. West Side scoring too much at home.
You want to talk about sucking as a coach? What are you talking about? You got on the other side of the field. What are you crazy? Talk about ass
They
cabbage.
both
That's
are
literally the
equally
definition
bad.
of ass cabbage.
They're
No
both-
way. No. How
Brandon
dare
Staley
you?
is garbage.
He's bad, but Josh McDaniels is the lowest of the low. Come on, man. Where have you been the last 2 years? I've been saying this.
I've been saying Brandon
God,
Staley
no,
sucks for the
yeah, but
last
nobody
2
will ever be worse
I
and
think they're
Josh
both bad.
McDaniels. They're both bad, but
You know,
McDaniels is
okay. Josh McDaniels gave Josh Jacobs his best year of his career last year.
it's like thanking God for running 100 yards in a game. Like, get out of here. He did it himself.
Josh McDaniels has proven that he can get a good run game going.
Yeah,
Besides
because
that,
he
he is
steals
garbage.
film.
Brandon Staley's his go to his skill set is defense, and the Charger defense is
I won't
doo
have
doo
it.
platter.
I won't have it. I won't stand for it.
Maybe next show
Staley
we
could probably still get
we
a
can
job as
have
a coordinator.
No,
McDaniels
have-
rode
no.
tails of
Josh
Belichick for years.
McDaniels might be able to get a coordinator job because that's all he
He
can
can-
do. He can't.
Yeah,
coach a
New
team.
England.
He can't coach a team, but he might be able to pull off a little bit of offense with the right skills. Josh
He had
McDaniels,
Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I know he gets no credit for their wins
Brandon Staley's defense sucks with all the talent they have.
because he's focused on too much. He clearly can't be a head coach.
Chargers defense this year 36, 27, 24.
That's bad.
The Raiders suck too.
Yeah, how about this? Where you going with this?
Their offense sucks too. But they both suck. How about
My,
we just-
my main real point, besides that little fun thing there, is Max Crosby and Devontae Adams apparently are not happy with Josh McDaniels and the team as a whole. You have your two star players on both sides of the ball not happy, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, before this
Chargers
game
ain't charging today.
Before that game kicks off, we'll
Wait,
probably put up a
so you're going with
poll
the
and see
Raiders?
which coach.
I said the Chargers ain't charging. Charging is a bad thing. Remember that when the Chargers charger,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll put up a poll on Twitter and see who the worst coach really is.
It's Josh McDaniels. Big poop.
I would like to
Trevor
see,
has
I would
had
like
this
to
long standing hate for Staley.
Yeah, we'll
All right.
see.
Next up, we have the Cardinals are going to San Fran to take on the 49ers. I know the Cardinals have been the Cinderella team of the year, but they are 14-point underdogs.
Time out. We ain't
To the
calling them Cardinals
Niners.
anymore. We're calling them Cowboy Killers. Because that's what they
They were-
did, and I loved it.
Arizona Cowboy Killers.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be something though? They
It would
upset
be
the
something.
Cowboys and upset the Niners, but I think you only get one of those a year. And
Yeah,
Christmas
especially
came
when-
early.
Yeah, especially when both, I mean, there really are some of the top defenses in the league right there. Like, as much as we talk crap about Dallas, the defense is good. And Josh Dobbs has had a game. You know, the offense, you know, they clicked. He got to his finally, you know, he was looking, you guys, two top receivers got the ball a lot. Yeah, Marquise Brown getting run some action for the first
I think
last year. He actually was relevant in fantasy, which I don't know if anybody has him, but you might want to pick him up. Just in case.
I think one of the differences in the Niners and the Cowboys offense is like Micah Parsons is a beast. Everyone knows it. But they move him around so much. I feel like it's almost a hindrance. Like if he was just coming off of like the left edge all game, like he's gonna get double teamed more, but I feel like when they move him around, they're just exhausting him, and teams like that's the game plan. Like we're gonna exhaust Micah Parsons, so later on in the game he's not gonna really be a threat. Whereas the Niners just have their front four that's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. I just don't see the Niners defense giving up too much to Josh Dobbs. And I like the Niners offense is legit compared to the Cowboys offense.
Yeah. The only thing I could think here that the 49ers lose is that Jonathan Gannon has their number after hurting. Who's thumping? I hear thumping. There's RJ. He just stopped.
Look at my leg.
Yeah, I heard a little
How about
thumping.
it?
Yeah, if Brock Purdy has flashbacks of last year's NFC Championship. Not saying I hope he gets injured or anything like that. I'm just saying the
Dude,
defense.
just best Chris Sims.
No. That's not what I was saying. I was saying he's gonna be it's the same defense, schematically at least. Different personnel, obviously, but to Jonathan Gannon's credit, the Arizona's defense has played fairly well. Besides the second half against the Giants, I still hate him, but he beat the Cowboys last week, so thank you. Just one more favor, beat the 49ers, and then the rest of the year you can go back to sucking. But I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I think the 49ers too much at home.
Yeah, go Niners. Go
Yeah,
McCaffrey.
Niners. Next up,
I think
we
Brandon
have
Ayuk's back too.
the New England Patriots are going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Cowboys are 6-point favorites. Um, Patriots are having, not the best year. They've had a kind of a rough schedule to start the season. Mac Jones has been, you know, up and down. I've seen some New England uh, posts saying that they're done with Mac Jones. Cowboys, after having a ridiculous point differential to start the season, lost in embarrassing fashion to the Arizona Cardinals last week. Um, while I think the Cowboys are, they're too talented to lose upset wise back to back weeks. Um, Bill Belichick is still a pretty smart coach who you have to respect. Um, I would pick the Cowboys, but I maybe wouldn't take the 6 points.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, Belichick's a smart coach. He might look at what Cardinals did last week defensively against the Cowboys. The Cardinals gashed the Cowboys on the ground with James Conner, and they got that one, um, that receiver. Who's the receiver on the Cardinals?
More.
Yeah, scored the long touchdown. So if they can get something going with Ramondre Stevenson, and you never know, but I'm gonna go with Cowboys too. It would be really tough for them to lose back to back against inferior teams. So
I agree. Unfortunately.
However, if the Patriots do start winning, I will be waiting for the typical camera pan up to Jerry Jones in his suite.
if they're winning,
If the Patriots
oh,
start
oh, oh
winning,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, just to see his look. Next up, we have for interesting. Just got the update that Ezekiel Elliott is going to be getting the running back one snaps against the Cowboys.
What?
Let me go add him in fantasy real quick.
That's stupid.
Cheese and rice. Is it because they're playing his former team? Like, is that the only reason why?
I
Like,
just got the update. I have
Ramondre
no
Stevenson's
idea.
Not been
spent logically,
terrible.
like,
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean,
But
Zeke's looked
next
better
up,
since week 1, but
we have the Chiefs going on to take on the Jets in New York. Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites. I mean, I know when they made the schedule, they're like, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers versus Mahomes. This will be great Sunday night football." Well, now it's Mahomes versus Zach Wilson. Um, the Jets' offenses look terrible. I think their defense is kind of get borderline over the season already. And then the Chiefs' defense, this might be the best defense Mahomes has ever had. So, I mean, the game plan has to be if you're the Jets, rotate all your running backs and maybe get something going. But Zach Wilson's he's not an NFL quarterback. Like I've looked at so many like stat graphs over his like the whole league over his career, and he's just by far and away the worst quarterback.
Yeah. No reason to make this one complicated. I'm going with the Chiefs.
yeah, going with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Zach Wilson's really something though, man. I tell you.
Zach Wilson can thank Patrick Mahomes for getting him drafted so high because people thought he
Running
could do
gun.
the same things that Mahomes did, and that's about it.
Yeah,
That's the highlight of his career.
yeah. I would say that it could be a tougher, closer game if it didn't seem like the Jets star players were the rumors about them being frustrated and not happy
Yeah.
and all this other stuff, and then Zach Wilson just sucks. So
Yeah, I mean, especially with how it was said, like if it was any other quarterback, they would have been benched already. But Salah's like refusing to bench Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going over to Monday Night Football, we have the Seattle Seahawks coming into New York to take on the Giants. Seahawks are 2-point favorites. For the Giants, injury wise, Barkley is doubtful and Andrew Thomas is out. Um, I know the Seahawks haven't had like the great start to the year that. Well, they're 2-1, so actually they just haven't looked. They haven't looked like they did last year, and the defense is still bad. Um, I still like the Seahawks. Besides one half against the the Cardinals, the Giants have just looked ugly. And without, if Barkley doesn't play, like yeah, all Seahawks. Without Barkley, you don't really respect uh, the running back threat from the Giants, and you can just key in on Daniel Jones. And if you take away his legs and make him a passing quarterback, it's just not good. Um, like this is Seattle's get right game for their defense. Like if Daniel Jones does like shred them through the air, then they're gonna have a long season. But yeah, give me Geno Smith and the Seahawks.
All day.
Yeah, I don't know if Seattle's defense can get right like that, but I do think that the Giants don't have enough on either end, and the Seahawks have been scoring the last few weeks, 37 back to back. So I'm going with the Seahawks as well.
All right. Well, that does it for our week 4 breakdown. One of these days, I will tally up and see which one of us have made the right picks so far. We're usually kind of the same mindset, though. Moving on, we are going to do
Fantasy.
fantasy start sits.
Yep.
Who wants to offer to go first?
It's the sass always.
All right, we are starting with the SAS. So this is starts of the week for the sassafras.
My start of the week is going to be. See, it's always I always look at the list and I'm like, oh, start of the week, but then I'm like, I can't just pick somebody that's going to be starting in everybody's league. So
Yeah, that's why I try to do something. Yeah,
yeah,
like
so
that's what I did the first week. I get your point.
my start of the week is going to be um Jerry Judy versus Chicago's defense. Um, I don't have a lot of faith in the Broncos as a team, but even though it was a shootout last week, well, don't want to say shootout, it was a lopsided 70-point or 50-point victory against the Broncos. But Jerry Judy did have 12 points, I think, in standard PPR. He had a touchdown that got called back off of a iffy motion, I think, penalty. Um, so Chicago's defense is terrible. I think Broncos, if they have any respect for themselves, will come out. I just don't think the Chicago has anything, and I think the Broncos can move the ball through the air a little bit. And I just like I think Jerry Judy will have a decent day.
Yeah. I guess I'll go next.
Second, it doesn't matter.
You can go. Go ahead.
Mine's actually talked about him already, but I'm gonna go with Adam Thielen against the Vikings. Since Andy Dalton has came in,
Revenge game. I like it.
yeah, it's a revenge game. Plus, he had 11 receptions for 145 yards last week as Dalton was the starter. So I just think when it comes to weapons, he's a little older, but he still knows how to get open. They don't really have much else to work with, receiving wise. I think Thielen's just a good play until Bryce Young comes back, at least.
Yeah. My start of the week is Joshua Kelly for the Chargers. I think with Jimmy G being out, the Chargers will get a lead and just feed him. So I think just volume of carries, he gets you some points, maybe a touchdown or two. And then my super duper sleeper start of the week that I wanted to add in is Darius Slayton for the Giants. The Seattle pass coverage has been terrible. Every week they've basically had one receiver that lights them up. Last week it was Thielen. Week 2, it was Reynolds for the Lions. Week 1, it was Puka for the Rams. So I think there's a chance Darius Slayton just torches them. We'll see. If you're super, super desperate, there's a guy. Now on to the sits.
Do Serpentine.
All right, now my sit of the week. My first sit. Well, I'll pick one. Rashad White against the New Orleans. New Orleans defense has been pretty solid. He's kind of having a rough-ish year anyway. I just think he's kind of touchdown reliant at this point. I don't think he gets into the end zone. And then another one I'm going to throw in there, Kenneth Gainwell. I just think Swift has just completely stole the job. And he'll get his carries, but he's just not as valuable as he once was.
Fair enough.
RJ?
Well, with the recent news of Ezekiel Elliott taking over the RB1 roles today, I guess my sit's going to be Ramondre Stevenson. Because he's getting the crap end of the stick just because Zeke used to play for the Cowboys. I guess he knows, he has insider information on how he can make Micah Parsons look like he sucks at football. I don't know. But Bill Belichick's known as a genius, so maybe we're just all stupid. I don't know.
Belichick's real good at crapping the crappers. My sit of the week, I'm going to go... This is a tough one. I'm going to go... I have 3 here, but which one?
So people's fantasy seasons are on the line. They got to know who not to play.
It's a tough decision. Sorry, RJ, but I'm just going to go with my gut and say Brian Robinson.
It's not a bad pick.
Versus the Eagles' rush defense. Yeah.
This is what it is. I'm a realist.
I was thinking about if I wanted to go James Conner or Amari Cooper with Watson being out and then James Conner going to 49ers defense, but I'll go
those are good ones too. Yeah. Brian Robinson has also been a nice, on an uptick too, so it makes sense. Everybody's starting him, at least flex-wise.
On to the lock of the week. Who's your locks?
I'll go first. Minnesota.
All right.
Kirky boy needs a dub. Give him his dub and his chains.
What's your lock though of the betting aspect?
So wait, did we say the? I don't remember the odds of that game.
Vikings are 4.5.
Spread? Do you like the over under?
Over under is 46.
I'm gonna go with the over. I don't know about the. I don't like 4-point spreads.
Okay.
All right. Sassafras.
I'm going to go Buffalo over Miami, and I'm going to take the over 53.5.
All right. I am taking. I originally had the Browns over the Ravens with the Browns minus 2.5. The Deshaun Watson news has ruined that. So I'm taking the Bengals. Take everything Bengals. Bengals minus 2.5. I think the over-under hits 41 because the Bengals just light up the Titans. If you're in daily fantasy, I would fire up Jamar Chase and Higgins.
Joe Mixon, everybody.
Not Joe Mixon.
It's not Joe Mixon.
That's the thing. The Titans, that's what makes it so much worse. They
the run defense.
Kill the run, and they cannot stop anything pass-wise. So teams are just like, well, I'm not even going to try and run the ball on you. I'm just going to air it out, and you can't do anything about it.
I'm glad you said that, then.
It's a terrible conundrum. Terrible.
I do have Mixon
that's my
fancy,
picks.
Then.
Anything else you guys would like to add today?
I don't think so. I think we
bonus points to the Toy Story thing for realizing that Slinky is the first down marker. And they use Slinky as the down markers. I didn't see that until after we had moved on from the topic, so I wanted to add that in there.
I need to check that out.
Yeah. I'll rewatch it probably tomorrow. All right. Well, I guess that is going to conclude the show. That does it for today's episode of No Interference Live. We are your host, Westside, Big Sass and the Bull. As always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate everyone who watches. Like, subscribe, share, follow us on social media at the NI Show on Instagram and Twitter. Hope everyone has a good day of football. That'll do it. So adios.
Yeah.
Peace.